He's heating up!
Hey guys, it's Vash, and welcome to some more E3 thoughts and impressions and coverage, etc, etc, coming from yours truly. I said my name already, my bad. I always forget that. Like I said before, I always apologize on how ghetto these videos are, but like I said, like, I put in some time and effort and trailers, and I get this shit copyrighted out of me, so... the point is that you get my impressions and what I thought and stuff like that. So today, we're gonna be, well right now, we're gonna be talking about the Sony press conference. Now, I went into the Sony press conference with my hopes extremely high and my standards very high because it is Sony, and Sony every year does seem to impress me quite a lot, especially after reading on Twitter that a lot of people were saying that, like, oh, I mean, I just looked at the list of games and, oh my god, Sony is going to blow you away, oh my god, oh my god. Let's just start off right now and say Sony did not do that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying that they did not come close to topping last year with their E3 stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about, you know, what I saw and what I thought. Now, like I said before, if I didn't mention it, it's probably because I didn't want to, I forgot, or I'll be talking about it later. So the first thing, the show opens up with the Uncharted Lost Legacy DLC trailer. And to let you guys know that the first couple of trailers that we saw didn't have any sound to them because Sony's stream was balls. The sound didn't start working until almost the 4th or 5th trailer in. So there was no sound for any of the trailers, all we heard was just the echo from the crowd. Oh great, but maybe I'll just have to rewatch some of these trailers with sound, but the Uncharted Lost Legacy trailer, wow. And I'm not even saying that with sarcasm, like, boy, does that look like a lot of fun, and I'm pretty excited to play that when it comes out in August. Just actiony. It looks like Uncharted. It looks like Uncharted, and you're playing as Chloe, and, God damn it, her face is in my head, but I just can't put my name on it. I mean, put her name. It's like her name is like on the tip of my tongue, and her face is in my... Nadine. Nadine. I got it. It took me a minute, but I got it. Following an adventure with Nadine and Chloe, which I honestly would have wanted more Sullivan, because I didn't really like Chloe very much. She was alright, but I love me some Sully. I think it would have been fun having a DLC with Sully, but I'm glad we get to see more of Nadine. I really liked her in Uncharted 4 a lot. I'm glad that we get to see more of Nadine, because she was awesome. She was by far my favorite part, but one of my favorite parts of Uncharted 4. But we got to see that. They then announced a big, huge chunk of DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn, which I didn't buy, so we'll just jump right on past that. But that's good for people that bought the game. Now you got more stuff to play. Awesome. Sweet. Next thing they showed was, that I wanted to talk about, is Days Gone, with old your boy Starkiller is the main character in that game. It's like kind of like a zombie biker game. With a beard, he kind of looks, Loki looks like James Franco. Like, I'm telling you, look at some screenshots. The guy looks like James Franco. The gameplay looks great. Sony's really pushing this one to us. They were really promoting this one a lot. Days Gone. I mean, it's alright. I mean, if you watch the gameplay for a bit, it looks very, very Last of Us. And not to compare it, because I always complain when people compare like stuff like that, but like just the way the characters move, the way they speak, the way they act, the way the action works out, how the cinematic is, it's like it feels like they're doing their homework and they're copying Naughty Dog's homework, if that makes any sense. I remember someone during the stream mentioned that. It's like, oh, this game looks like a lot of fun, but you can obviously tell that they're just copying Naughty Dog's homework. Like, that's kind of what it looks like. They're looking at something else that's really good, and they're making their own version of it, which there isn't a problem with that at all. That's just what it looks like. But it looks like a lot of fun. They showed him fight these two other dudes, and he kind of like shanked one up and then choked the other guy out, and then he snuck into their little base where they had like people hanging from the ceiling. It was freaking weird. They had zombies hanging from trees, but like in the actual arena they had like actors dangling by like their feet pretending to be zombies. Oh my god. He then, like, in the trailer, like, made it to inside of the camp to save one of his homies, and unleashed a huge, like, group of infected in there that then went and, like, ate and scared everyone away, and then, like, a cutscene and stuff. I mean, it looks alright. I'm probably gonna buy it when it comes out. That trailer was a lot more fleshed out and a lot more fun looking than the old one, which kind of just showed the dude just going from point A to point B, and then a buttload of World War Z zombies, and by that I mean the whole animation of the zombies, like, spilling over each other. Sure. I mean, cool. That's awesome. That's super awesome. After that, they showed Monster Hunter World, which I got really excited for because I've been a huge fan of Monster Hunter for a very long time. At first, I thought it was a bootleg Monster Hunter, like maybe Sony's making their own Monster Hunter ripoff, because Monster Hunter at a Sony conference, like, Monster Hunter's been exclusive to Nintendo for a while. Come to find out, it's Monster Hunter World for the PS4. Not exclusive, it's going to be on Xbox One and later PC. Comes out 2018. That was another thing I had a huge issue with the Sony press conference, is that the majority of the stuff they showed us is not coming out till next year. So we, like, what? Like, you know, we still gotta wait, yeah. So, Monster Hunter World looks fantastic. I cannot wait to get that and play with friends. I love Monster Hunter. I was pretty hyped. They then, after that, showed a Shadow of the Colossus remake that I did not see coming at all, not even in the slightest. Now, before you grab your pitchforks and try to stab me through your television or your computer screen, when I was younger, when Shadow of the Colossus came out, I got it for my birthday. I think I was turning 17 or 16 or something like that. Maybe 18, I don't know. I was youngin'. And that was back when I played video games for gameplay, and I didn't give a shit about stories. I would skip cutscenes. I played nothing but Call of Duty and Gears of War Online. It was a very, very, very dark moment in hip-hop history. And as I was growing up, I didn't like Shadow of the Colossus. I didn't like it. The reason why I didn't like it, I hated looking for the Colossuses. It was fun fighting them, but I didn't like looking for them. And with my very short attention span when I was younger, and me being kind of a dick, when I got to the Colossuses, I would just be bored and I would shut it off and be like, I'm gonna go play something else. That's how I was when I was younger. I'm different now. I'd love to play it and give it another chance and see how much I like it, because a lot of people really like Shadow of the Colossus, and I'm totally down to give it another go and play it. So there's a remake of that coming out, and I will definitely be getting that and playing it. So yeah, Shadow of the Colossus remake, awesome. They then showed the new Call of Duty game. Oh boy, I'm sure you guys are like, oh my god, did he just say Call of Duty? All the gameplay they showed was actually multiplayer, and I thought it was single player. And they're back to World War II, and I'm kind of a sucker for, World War II and stuff like that. I don't know, I just really enjoy that era of bootleg combat. Like, I'm kind of over the whole modern warfare kind of shit, So I want to go back to that. But I'm glad that Call of Duty's finally listening to people and going back, so that may be a Call of Duty game I might actually buy. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might. It depends, because there's a lot of games coming out. I think that's supposed to come out in November this year. After that point, they had lots and lots and lots of VR. A very large majority of the show was VR, and I think my favorite part about the whole VR thing is that at the end of every trailer, they would cut to the crowd, and you would see how uninterested and bored the crowd looked. The only game I even remember from all the VR crap they showed was a Final Fantasy 15 VR fishing game. Who fucking cares? When I played Final Fantasy 15, I hated the fishing. I thought it sucked. But we got VR fishing. There was just VR, goofy ass first person shooter VR, whatever, dude. I mean, like I said before, I'm one of those classic gamers. I enjoy a controller and a television, so you enjoy your VR, have fun, I hope you like it. VR is just not for me. I will not try VR at conventions because I'm deathly afraid of getting pink eye, and I don't care if they wipe it down. So I guess one day I'm just gonna have to try it at a friend's house if anyone buys it that I know, or I'm just gonna have to just say fuck it and buy it. I don't know if it costs too much money for me to take a gamble, you know what I mean? Because the way Sony treats VR, it kind of just is like a gimmick, like motion, which that's just kind of how it looks like to me. But there was a buttload of VR, which I just kind of turned my brain off with all that because I don't really care for it. So they showed VR game, blah, 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 blah. Right after that is when they hit us with the God of War, with your dad beard. Now, God of War, the new God of War game is not called God of War 4, it's just called God of War. And I'm really confused on what the story is on this one and what's going on, because you still have all of your wounds from the previous God of War, but if you played God of War 3, the world kind of ended. So, but you're back now, and I remember someone mentioning Kratos fell through a portal, or I don't know, but whatever. The game looks like a lot of fun, but it does not look like God of War, so I know a lot of people will probably have an issue with the fact that it just doesn't look like traditional God of War. But it is 2017. technology, not even technology, but just things need to evolve. Like, you don't want every company to be Nintendo where they just sell you the same thing over and over again. We don't want to be like that. So, I mean, I'm down. I played God of War 1, 2, and 3. I really enjoyed them. I liked them a lot. I wanted to do playthroughs of them, but I was always afraid because there's titties in them. So I never did it. But this new God of War looks like a lot of fun. It's got like the whole over-the-shoulder-esque combat to it and stuff. And the trailer they showed had bits and pieces of gameplay, but it was mostly cinematic stuff. So we didn't really get a full-on gameplay of what the hell was going on. But yeah, God of War looks like a lot of fun. Right after that, they showed Detroit. Now, Detroit is a David Cage game, and I know a lot of people love to hate on David Cage, but I enjoy his games. I think they're a lot of fun, even though they have certain aspects of them that are stupid, but they're fun. I enjoyed Heavy Rain. I enjoyed Beyond Two Souls, even though it was easy as shit and you couldn't die. I thought it was fun. I liked, what's that other one? Fahrenheit? Indigo Prophecy? That game used to crack me up. But Detroit last year when they showed it during E3, they showed like a PI, like, you know, like a private investigator, police officer talking down a dude from like cheagling himself off the side of a building. But in this one, they showed a new guy named Marcus, I believe. It's a cyborg that is releasing cyborgs from their shackles of serving humanity, which showed different choices of you wanting to be a pacifist, being nice, and like, you know, Martin Luther King it, or Malcolm X in it, and being violent, and, you know, it looked very interesting. So, but I've noticed that usually in David Cage's games, you play both sides of the spectrum. Usually, sometimes you'll play, like, you know, one side is the, you know what I mean, it intertwines the stories. Yeah, so like it makes sense to me. It was just a little off-putting that the trailer that they showed made it look like a completely different game. And at first I was like, did they really just completely rethink this game? And like, you know what, we're gonna do this instead of doing the Magnum robot PI. But then at the end of the trailer, they show the cop from the other trailer. So, like I said, maybe you're just playing both sides. One side you're playing the resistance, and one side you're playing the cops trying to keep everything in control. Cool, I'm definitely gonna get it. It looks like a lot of fun. I like those kind of games. It's gonna be great. I hope, at least. Should be cool. I know with David Cage, we can guarantee there be a woman in her drawers, because that's like what he does. I've noticed that in every game he's made, there's always a girl in underwear at some point in time. I guess. Like Madison and Heavy Rain and what's her name? Beyond Two Souls got in her drawers in the shower scene. Whatever. We're looking, and then Homegirl got in her drawers in Indigo Prophecy. So that's just how it is. We gotta look forward to stuff like that, I guess. Yeah. Detroit. Now, oh yeah, they also talk. I forgot to mention, they also showed Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I do like Marvel vs. Capcom, but I don't like playing it. I like watching it. I love watching people play Marvel. I personally don't like playing it. It looks like a lot of fun, though. Like, I mean, from the story, the trailer they showed, I like how the bad guy is like a fusion between Sigma and Ultron. That's really cool. And then like Thanos has like that deep ass like Michael Clark Duncan voice. Well, that looked kind of cool. I mean, there's also a demo out. That was one thing I was making bets. I'm like, I've noticed that at this time at E3, they always have at least one person that's like, oh, it's available right now. Like last year, they had the Resident Evil 7 demo. But this year, the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Story demo is available right now. And by right now, oh yeah, it's 9 p.m. So it is available right now. It went up at 9. It's 9:02. So the last thing I want to talk about is what I was looking forward to this whole time. When someone asked me, what are you most excited to see at E3? I said, I want to see Spider-Man gameplay. And oh boy, did they give us Spider-Man gameplay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. They gave us Spider-Man gameplay. This, you just have to see it. You have to see it. Right now, when I'm done talking about this, just pause me. Pause me right now and go watch the Spider-Man gameplay. That right there is why I love Spider-Man. One of my all-time favorite superheroes. It's one I grew up with. And wow, that is like the most epic and cinematic shit I've ever seen for Spider-Man. Because in a game, like, oh man, and it's made by Insomniac, right? And they did Sunset Overdrive, so you know they know how to make shit flip and blow up. And oh man, and like the slow-mo dodging and like the webbing attacks and the flipping and the cartwheeling and the squinting eyes and the webs and the more webs and the erections I was having during this whole goddamn thing. Oh boy, am I so excited for Spider-Man. So far at E3, the two things that have made my heart stop completely to a point that I had to punch my chest a few times was Anthem and Spider-Man. Dragon Ball Z just made my inner 9-year-old cry because I was so excited. But those two games are so far, those are the two games that I'm the most excited for. Ooh! Give me the spicy meatball, Sony. The spicy meatball, that's exactly what I was looking for. That was it. And then they even had like a little thing at the end where they talked about Miles Morales. Oh boy! I was like, oh man, oh man. But that was all Sony had. Surprisingly, no Last of Us 2. Nope. No Death Stranding, even though Kojima already, said like a week ago there wasn't gonna be any Death Stranding, but no Death Stranding. There was no Red Dead Revolver 2. There was no Bully 2. I heard there's a huge rumor going around that Rockstar's working on a Bully game. And there was no Rockstar presence at all at this convention. I mean, at E3. And that's where I get to my point that I said that like last year was much better than this year because like Sony hit us with like bam, 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 bam. Like you just like I was having a hard time breathing last year. They was hitting us with so much shit back to back. And in my opinion, Sony started out great with Uncharted and Days Gone and Monster Hunter and Shadow of the Colossus. And then they just lost me with the VR shit. And then from there it went VR, and then there was some shit and more shit, and then Detroit, Spider-Man. Like it kind of after the VR it was just like, oh cool, 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 because like at the beginning of Sony it was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then it was like VR, and then it was like, Dad of War, yay, and Detroit, woo, you know what I mean? It was kind of like sweet. Another thing that kind of bugged me about Sony's press conference is that like a large majority of the things that they showed this year was just shit we saw last year, just with more of it. Which, I don't know about you, but I enjoy seeing a little bit more gameplay of stuff, but I enjoy seeing new things at E3. And that was the only thing I had my fingers crossed for, a teaser trailer for Resident Evil 2, the remake. Since, Capcom is super chummy with PlayStation right now after Resident Evil 7. That's kind of, that was like my Make-A-Wish Foundation wish right there. That's what I was hoping for, that there would be some sort of teaser or announcement for Resident Evil 2 remake. But sadly, there wasn't. Like I said, the thing that I was most excited for that I'm glad I got was the Spider-Man gameplay, and that was the one thing that I wanted to see at E3, and boy did I get it. Hopefully, maybe it'll be playable, I don't know, maybe I can see more trailers. The one thing that sucks about Sony at E3, if you've ever been to E3, is the majority of their games aren't playable. The big ones, like Days Gone, Dad of War, stuff like that, those are the games that you wait in like a 4-hour line to watch a live demo in a room with 9 to 15 other smelly people. Like, I'd rather do that at home. I go to E3 to play games, not to watch someone else play them on a big screen in a closed room. And the music's always loud as shit, and it hurts my ears. Like, I have really sensitive hearing, so I hate going to those. Sony and WB, like, I'm sure they're probably gonna have Injustice 2 there with whatever the fuck else they're working on, but like WB and Sony at E3 are the two main contenders of people that when you go to their booths at E3, they have you wait in line to watch a demo, and that sucks. I go to E3 to play games, not to watch games. I can watch games at home in the comfort of my living room without having to worry about these funky no, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's enough of my ranting about E3 with Sony. Sony, like I said, I give it like a 6 or a 7. I mean, it's like on par with Ubisoft to me. Maybe a 8, a high 8 because Spider-Man, but that's kind of biased. I was really excited for Spider-Man, and they delivered on the Spider-Man. But like I said, they did like good thing, and then they just kind of like they still did a little bit better than Microsoft. At least Microsoft showed a lot of games and didn't hit us with any stupid gimmick crap except for them trying to ram their Xbox sex down our throat. But I mean, that was Sony. if I had to pick games out of it that I'm most pumped for, it would probably be Monster Hunter and Spider-Man. Those are the two that I'm probably most excited for, with maybe Monster Hunter on the line with Days Gone. Like, you know, they're kind of excited for both. Uncharted, I'm not super excited for, mostly because we're going to be getting it in August. But the rest of these games don't come out for another year or so. But yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble about Sony for the past 20 minutes. Like I said before, I don't know if this is going up tonight, probably tomorrow, and by tomorrow I mean Tuesday morning, because it's Monday night around 9 p.m. tonight right now. Tomorrow is Nintendo's press conference, or technically today if I upload it tomorrow at 9 in the morning. Like I said, I will be at E3 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will be taking a lot of photos, I'll be taking a lot of photos, and I will be taking a lot of video and uploading it on Instagram and Twitter. So if you want to follow me on those adventures, go ahead, and the link is in the description. And what did you guys think of Sony? What are you looking forward to? I think I forgot to ask that in my previous Ubisoft video, but shit, oh well, I forgot. What do you guys think? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy Sony's press conference? Let me know, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye! Hope you all have a wonderful morning, a great day, a beautiful afternoon, and an awesome night. See you guys later. Bye, bye, bye.